for all of those who are not able to be here live. Okay, let me share my screen. We are in chapter 10, The Idols of Sickness. Nothing beyond yourself can make you fearful or loving because nothing is beyond you. Time and eternity are both in your mind and will conflict until you perceive time solely as a means to regain eternity. You cannot do this as long as you believe that anything happened to you is caused by factors outside yourself. You must learn that time is solely at your disposal and that nothing in the world can take this responsibility from you. You can violate God's laws in your imagination, but you cannot escape from them. They were established for your protection and are as inviolate as your safety. God created nothing beside you, and nothing beside you exists, for you are part of Him. What except Him can exist? Nothing beyond Him can happen, because nothing except Him is real. Your creations add to Him as you do, but nothing is added that is different, because everything has always been. What can upset you except the ephemeral? And how can the ephemeral be real if you are God's only creation and He created you eternal? Your holy mind establishes everything that happens to you. Every response you make to everything you perceive is up to you because your mind determines your perception of it. God does not change His mind about you, for He is not uncertain of Himself. And what He knows can be known because He does not know it only for Himself. He created you for Himself, but He gave you the power to create for yourself so you would be like Him. That is why your mind is holy. Can anything exceed the love of God? Can anything then exceed your will? Nothing can reach you from beyond it because being in God, you encompass everything. Believe this, and you will realize how much is up to you. When anything threatens your peace of mind, ask yourself, has God changed His mind about me? Then accept His decision, for it is indeed changeless, and refuse to change your mind about yourself. God will never decide against you, or He would be deciding against Himself. Oh, you're on mute, Carl.
A lot of yous.
Yeah,
You.
yes, it is. Just a reminder, and as Mary said, you are God, right? God created you as Himself and for Him. Anything come up for anybody? I can't hear you, Carl. I'm not sure if it's my connection or yours.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Sorry.
I was thinking, it seems very dualistic.
In what way?
Well, it's you and God when it's really we are. It's there's no duality in essence. But this is all it's like you, and instead of we or instead of everything, everything is one. So it's but the course does that a lot anyway. It kind of focuses on what's going on rather than what you're doing. There's a lot of duality in it, but the core message is not duality.
I think too, maybe it does that because it wants you to know that even though you are like God, since God is the prime creator.
Mhm.
He created you and I. So even though he created us like him and we are part of his mind, I don't know. I don't know where to
Yeah,
go from there.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what to say after that.
I feel that it's more for like learning purposes almost because if it didn't say you, I would have even a harder time understanding. I'm thinking it's more because it was written for us to learn, I guess, and it's just easier that way for us to understand. That's how I
That's
see it.
that's a great point, Cynthia. I love that. Yeah, because it said it was written in Christian terms to reach more people.
Right.
And I think if it came right out and said, "You are God," people would be like, "Oh, I'm not reading this book." I don't believe that, right?
But it does say that.
Well, yeah, it kind of brings you in slowly to that.
Right.
Yeah, it says it without saying it, right? I think it wants you to have that light bulb moment to go, ah, and come to your own conclusion
I
because the
had a,
ego, go ahead.
okay, sorry. I had an opportunity last night to look at who is that you that is having these thoughts about this thing happening. We were in a sweat lodge, which was a good thing, and we share. And my husband said, "Oh, that I convinced him to stop eating gluten, you know, for this rash." And my memory was, well, that wasn't me. That was my daughter-in-law who suggested it. I try to support him, but I never like tell anybody what to do because I have no clue. I wouldn't want to be responsible. But I didn't. So um I didn't correct him. We were in a sweat lodge. It wasn't my turn to talk. So luckily I had a moment that was like first reaction. And then it was like, oh, who is the one that cares what others think about me, whether it's, really happened or not in the illusion. I'm like, and then I relaxed and I didn't even mention it to him. And maybe in the past I would have, but now I was like, it doesn't even matter. You know,
That's great. That
it's a
happens.
small thing, but it was asking myself, who is the one who cares? And that one doesn't care.
Yeah, that's awesome. I find myself doing similar things. Like I'll initially get like this knee-jerk reaction, like, what? That's not true. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, who's saying that? Who's saying it's not true? Right. That's awesome. I love that. Hey, Ernesto, good to have you here.
Hi there. They're working on the outside, so I have to go on data. So
Oh,
data.
okay. Like everybody's having technological difficulties today.
Well, they're replacing some kind of
Everybody.
wire. They're
Yeah.
replacing wire out there. I mean, I can see what's going on.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to him, but I figured, you know what? Let him work out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't need anybody, you know, pressuring him.
Just read the introduction to chapter 10, and we're getting ready to read section 1 next.
Oh,
Any,
okay.
anybody have anything else they want to share about what we just read? All right. Let's keep going then. All right. At home in God. You do not know your creations simply because you would decide against them as long as your mind is split. And to attack what you have created is impossible. But remember that it is as impossible for God. The law of creation is that you love your creations as yourself because they are part of you. Everything that was created is therefore perfectly safe because the laws of God protect it by his love. Any part of your mind that does not know this has banished itself from knowledge because it has not met its conditions. Who could have done this but you? Recognize this gladly, for in this recognition lies the realization that your banishment is not of God and therefore does not exist. You are at home in God, dreaming of exile, but perfectly capable of awakening to reality. Is it your decision to do so? You recognize from your own experience that what you see in dreams you think is real while you're asleep. Yet the instant you waken, you realize that everything that seemed to happen in the dream did not happen at all. You do not think this strange, even though all the laws of what you awakened to were violated when you slept. Is it not possible that you merely shifted from one dream to another without really waking? Would you bother to reconcile what happened in conflicting dreams? Or would you dismiss both together if you discovered that reality is in accord with neither? You do not remember being awake. When you hear the Holy Spirit, you may feel better because loving then seems possible to know, possible to you, but you do not remember yet that it once was so. And it is in this remembering that you will know it can be so again. What is possible has not yet been accomplished. Yet what has once been is so now, if it is eternal. When you remember, you will know that what you remember is eternal and therefore is now. You will remember everything the instant you desire it wholly. For if to desire wholly is to create, you will have willed away the separation, returning your mind simultaneously to your creator and your creations. Knowing them, you will have no wish to sleep, but only the desire to waken and be glad. Dreams will be impossible because you will want only truth. And being at last your will, it will be yours. I just had an interesting vision while I read that. You know how we worry about people in our lives that we love? We worry about our children or our parents or our friends or our significant others or whoever it is that we care about, right? What if, and this makes total sense, what if by sleeping and dreaming this dream that they are in peril, right, within this illusion of the world, like the wars that we see going on, right? And we get so worried about it. Oh no, it's terrible. All those people just died. And, Gail and I were having this conversation earlier, all the school children died. What if by participating in the dream and not waking up, we are somehow enabling it?
Mhm.
Just a thought, right? Because if we wake up, there is no more dream. And what will it cost us? The whole world. The whole world as we know it right now. And that's the whole reason why we're afraid to wake up. Instead of understanding that our creations are perfectly safe in the real world and just trusting that none of this has ever happened. It's just part of the dream.
So happy to hear you say that. I think that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for these groups that we can talk like that and people get it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's true.
It's interesting because within this dream, I have been in an abusive relationship. And it wasn't until I left that relationship that the abuse stopped. And why? Because I was enabling it just by giving it my body to be abused, even if it was in the dream. I was enabling the abuse to continue because I was staying in the relationship. I thought I was fixing it. I thought I could heal it. But no, I was enabling it just by allowing it to continue. So that's what hit me when I was reading that. But anybody else wants to share what's coming up for them? Feel free.
It's a good way of looking at enabling.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe it's real, if you believe it's part of the dream, then why would you do anything to help anyone?
That's the risk, in my opinion, of referring to the world as a dream. In my opinion, the Course uses that as a technique for us to realize that we have the power to change things. We do not need to suffer because the world does things to us. Once you recognize that, it's like cherishing the finger instead of recognizing what the finger is pointing to. Once you have established that the finger is not God, if you will, is that what's called a dream, you can now let go of that notion because your focus has shifted from that to a more expansive focus, which is pointing at the all in all. And so I think it's somewhat of a trap of duality, in my opinion, again, when we continuously refer to the world as a dream, an illusion, when in fact it is that experience that takes us back to knowing who we truly are. So on the flip side, it has immense value because the value is in enjoying the ride of experience, but knowing you're the one who's in control of it, if you will. You experience that which you choose as deeply as you choose because you have no fear any longer of the illusion, quote unquote, swallowing you up.
Great answer, Mary. Yeah, and I was just running this through some Course in Miracles information. And what I came up with also is that according to A Course in Miracles, the world is a dream, but it is a shared dream of separation. And within the dream, the experience of suffering feels very real to the mind that believes it. The Course never teaches indifference. It teaches that our function in the dream is healing. So if someone appears to be suffering, we are not asked to dismiss it as just an illusion. We are asked to respond from love instead of fear. There's a big difference. Course in Miracles reminds us bodies are part of the dream. Pain is part of the mistaken belief in separation, but love is the answer within the dream. When you care for someone, comfort them, feed them, listen to them, advocate for them, you're allowing love to extend through you. That is the miracle. That is the correction. The Course actually says that denying a brother's call for help is a defense against the truth. We are called to see past the illusion of suffering, but not to ignore the ones who believe they suffer. In both, we remember at the level of truth, no one is truly harmed. And within the dream, we become the presence of love that relieves fear.
Yes, and as you said earlier, that you don't have to be in that situation. You can step away from that abusive relationship.
Right.
You don't have to be in it because I think that in some instances, the abuser itself will use that interpretation as, "Oh, I've been forgiven. I can do this. I've already been forgiven." I've heard that. I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to remember too that love isn't always nice and fluffy and calm. That sometimes love looks like protesting and fighting back, as Jesus did when he ran the money changers out of the temple.
Mhm. There you go, Gail. Good discussions. I mean, this is the world, this is the dream we're living in. So it's great discussing it from a perspective of being in the dream. How do we manage? How do we navigate this?
Because it's more like a nightmare.
Yeah.
I would love to wake up.
Wake up, Kathleen.
Yeah, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Any other conversations or questions or discussions before we move on to the next part? Right. Let's go.
Somebody's typing away.
Okay, the decision to forget. Unless you first know something, you cannot dissociate it. Knowledge must precede dissociation, so that dissociation is nothing more than a decision to forget. What has been forgotten then appears to be fearful, but only because the dissociation is an attack on truth. You are fearful because you have forgotten. And you have replaced your knowledge by an awareness of dreams because you are afraid of your dissociation, not of what you have dissociated. When what you have dissociated is accepted, it ceases to be fearful. Yet to give up the dissociation of reality brings more than merely lack of fear. In this decision lie joy and peace and the glory of creation. Offer the Holy Spirit only your willingness to remember, for he retains the knowledge of God and of yourself for you, waiting for your acceptance. Give up gladly everything that would stand in the way of your remembering, for God is in your memory. His voice will tell you that you are part of him when you are willing to remember him and know your own reality again. Let nothing in this world delay your remembering of him, for in this remembering is the knowledge of yourself. To remember is merely to restore to your mind what is already there. You do not make what you remember. You merely accept again what is already there, but was rejected. The ability to accept truth in this world is the perceptual counterpart of creating in the kingdom. God will do his part if you will do yours, and his return in exchange for yours is the exchange of knowledge for perception. Nothing is beyond his will for you, but signify your will to remember him, and behold, he will give you everything but for the asking. When you attack, you are denying yourself. You are specifically teaching yourself that you are not what you are. Your denial of reality precludes the acceptance of God's gift because you have accepted something else in its place. If you understand that this is always an attack on truth, and truth is God, you will realize why it is always fearful. If you further recognize that you are part of God, you will understand why it is that you always attack yourself first. All attack is self-attack. It cannot be anything else, arising from your own decision not to be what you are. It is an attack on your identification. Attack is thus the way in which your identification is lost. Because when you attack, you must have forgotten what you are. And if your reality is God's, when you attack, you are not remembering him. This is not because he is gone, but because you are actively choosing not to remember him. If you realized the complete havoc this makes of your peace of mind, you could not make such an insane decision. You make it only because you still believe it can get you something you want. It follows then that you want something other than the peace of mind, but you have not considered what it must be. Yet the logical outcome of your decision is perfectly clear if you will only look at it. By deciding against your reality, you've made yourself vigilant against God and his kingdom. And it is this vigilance that makes you afraid to remember him. All right, so we just need to ask the Holy Spirit because the Holy Spirit has all our memories for us. Seems like the Holy Spirit is the gatekeeper. I'm not sure what is going on with my computer right now, but I cannot hear anybody.
Oh,
Everybody is frozen.
I think you just froze too, Terry.
Oh, okay, now I can hear you guys.
yeah. Can you hear me? I can hear you clearly.
And you're delayed as well. You're talking,
Okay,
your
I can now,
movement
but I
isn't
couldn't hear
matching.
you. I couldn't hear anything. Did you guys hear everything I said?
No,
No.
I didn't.
I heard you read everything.
Yeah.
You did. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then it went silent.
Okay.
And I just thought everybody was being silent.
I know, I did too until I noticed everybody was frozen. I was like, uh-oh, what happened?
You're also delayed. Like your mouth doesn't
Yeah, it's saying
reach your, yeah.
bandwidth is low. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why it's saying that. Very odd.
We're having technical difficulties as a result of the sun and its rays.
Maybe I'll sign out.
The-
I'll sign out and back in again and put somebody else in charge. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this.
We're going into an alignment of the planets, including a moon eclipse.
Tomorrow,
Ooh, interesting.
red moon.
Maybe
Right.
that's it.
So 3 days before and 3 days after, it's affecting everything, including our brain.
If I only had a brain.
That's great. I love it. Okay, it looks like everybody's back now on my screen, so good.
And plus, I have a guy working outside on that cable. Who knows what he's doing up there? And I'm not asking him.
He's tapping into our Course in Miracles study group.
Well, it messed me up. I couldn't get through. I have no internet. I had to go data. I had to go right to the, right. I had to bypass all of that. I'm paying for the data.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it comes off the plan that I have. At the end of it, oh, you have no more data left. Another $20 for 1 gigabyte. Thank you.
Gosh.
So this time I said, hey, I didn't have no data because some guy was working out there and messed me up.
There you go.
So pay up. It's about time you give me something back.
Fat chance.
Right, Carl.
We're digressing. All right. Anybody have anything they want to talk about based on what we just read? The decision to forget.
I don't know that that's a conscious decision, but I'll accept it.
What about what it said? All we have to do is ask the Holy Spirit for our memories to come back. And here's the funny part. Like, has anybody done that? Has anybody asked the Holy Spirit to get our memories back?
No.
Right? Why? Well,
I didn't know I could ask for that, but I will now.
that's right here, right? All you have to do is ask the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit saved it all for us. It's like, no, I don't want to know. The Course gives us all these specific instructions, and our ego is like, don't do that. You're going to disappear. You're gonna evaporate. You do that, everything will be gone. You'll live in a tent in the woods. It
That
actually
would be
sounds kind of nice.
And the more often we do that, though, and actually the rewards are very wonderful.
Right,
And then so the fear is less and less.
right.
I don't know. Goes away for a while and then it comes back.
What if we do
But
it
that's
right now?
okay.
What if we
It's okay.
ask,
It's
yeah,
for us.
if we ask the Holy Spirit right now, offer the Holy Spirit only your willingness to remember, for he retains the knowledge of God and of yourself for you, waiting for your acceptance. All right, Holy Spirit, I ask to remember it all. Oh, you're all still there. I'm still
And
here.
I like that word acceptance because to me it's even accepting when I feel like I'm lost in the dream and in the ego. Accept that because then I'm not identifying. I can accept that that's happening, but that's not who I am. And it
Yes.
quickly gets resolved and kind of just disappears.
Love it. Yes. Yes, and yes. And all attack is self-attack. So when we feel like we're fighting for a righteous cause and we feel we have to attack, we're attacking ourselves because we're not seeing the Christ in our brother.
Nor in us either.
Right. All right. Shall we keep going? The God of sickness.
Sure.
See if I can make it through without losing you guys. All right, here we go. The God of sickness. You have not attacked God, and you do love him. Can you change your reality? No one can will to destroy himself. When you think you are attacking yourself, it is a sure sign that you hate what you think you are. And this, and only this, can be attacked by you. What you think you are can be very hateful. And what this strange image makes you do can be very destructive. Yet the destruction is no more real than the image, although those who make idols do worship them. The idols are nothing, but their worshipers are the sons of God in sickness. God would have them released from their sickness and returned to his mind. He will not limit your power to help them because he has given it to you. Do not be afraid of it because it is your salvation. What comforter can there be for the sick children of God except his power through you? Remember that it does not matter where in the sonship he is accepted. He is always accepted for all. And when your mind receives him, the remembrance of him awakens throughout the sonship. Heal your brothers simply by accepting God for them. Your minds are not separate, and God has only one channel for healing because he has but one son. God's remaining communication link with all his children joins them together and them to him. To be aware of this is to heal them because it is the awareness that no one is separate and so no one is sick. To believe that a son of God can be sick is to believe that the part of God can suffer. Love cannot suffer because it cannot attack. The remembrance of love, therefore, brings invulnerability with it. Do not side with sickness in the presence of a son of God, even if he believes in it. For your acceptance of God in him acknowledges the love of God he has forgotten. Your recognition of him as part of God reminds him of the truth about himself, which he is denying. Would you strengthen his denial of God and thus lose sight of yourself? Or would you remind him of his wholeness and remember your Creator with him? To believe a son of God is sick is to worship the same idol he does. God created love, not idolatry. All forms of idolatry are caricatures of creation, taught by sick minds too divided to know that creation shares power and never usurps it. Sickness is idolatry because it is the belief that power can be taken from you. Yet this is impossible because you are part of God, who is all power. A sick God must be an idol, made in the image of what its maker thinks he is. And that is exactly what the ego does perceive in a son of God. A sick God, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious, and very vulnerable. Is this the idol you would worship? Is this the image you would be vigilant to save? Are you really afraid of losing this? Look calmly at the logical conclusion of the ego's thought system and judge whether its offering is really what you want. For this is what it offers you. To obtain this, you are willing to attack the divinity of your brothers and thus lose sight of yours. And you are willing to keep it hidden, to protect an idol you think will save you from the dangers for which it stands, but which do not exist. There are no idolaters in the kingdom, but there is a great appreciation for everything that God created because of the calm knowledge that each one is part of him. God's Son knows no idols, but he does know his Father. Health in this world is the counterpart of value in heaven. It is not my merit that I contribute to you, but my love, for you do not value yourself. When you do not value yourself, you become sick. But my value of you can heal you, because the value of God's Son is one. When I said, "My peace I give unto you," I meant it. Peace comes from God through me to you. It is for you, although you may not ask for it. When a brother is sick, it is because he is not asking for peace and therefore does not know he has it. The acceptance of peace is the denial of illusion, and sickness is an illusion. Yet every son of God has the power to deny illusions anywhere in the kingdom, merely by denying them completely in himself. I can heal you because I know you. I know your value for you. And it is this value that makes you whole. A whole mind is not idolatrous and does not know of conflicting laws. I will heal you merely because I have only one message, and it is true. Your faith in it will make you whole when you have faith in me. I do not bring God's message with deception, and you will learn this as you learn that you always receive as much as you accept. You could accept peace now for everyone and offer them perfect freedom from all illusions because you heard his voice. But have no other gods before him, or you will not hear. God is not jealous of the gods you make, but you are. You would save them and serve them because you believe that they made you. You think they are your father because you are projecting onto them the fearful fact that you made them to replace God. Yet when they seem to speak to you, remember that nothing can replace God, and whatever replacements you have attempted are nothing. Very simply, then, you may believe you are afraid of nothingness, but you are really afraid of nothing. And in that awareness, you are healed. You will hear the God you listen to. You made the God of sickness, and by making him, you made yourself able to hear him. Yet you did not create him, because he is not the will of the Father. He is therefore not eternal, and will be unmade for you the instant you signify your willingness to accept only the eternal. If God has but one Son, there is but one God. You share reality with him, because reality is not divided. To accept other gods before him is to place other images before yourself. You do not realize how much you listen to your gods and how vigilant you are on their behalf. Yet they exist only because you honor them. Place honor where it is due, and peace will be yours. It is your inheritance from your real Father. You cannot make your Father, and the Father you made did not make you. Honor is not due to illusions, for to honor them is to honor nothing. Yet fear is not due them either, for nothing cannot be fearful. You have chosen to fear love because of its perfect harmlessness, and because of this fear, you have been willing to give up your own perfect helpfulness and your own perfect help. Only at the altar of God will you find peace. And this altar is in you because God put it there. His voice still calls you to return, and he will be heard when you place no other gods before him. You can give up the god of sickness for your brothers. In fact, you would have to do so if you give him up for yourself. But if you see the god of sickness anywhere, you have accepted him. And if you accept him, you will bow down and worship him, because he was made as God's replacement. He is the belief that you can choose which God is real. Although it is clear this has nothing to do with reality, it is equally clear that it has everything to do with reality as you perceive it. Oh, that should be some good conversation.
This makes me think of some things that Miguel talks about a lot in his book, saying that no one punishes us more than we do ourselves. One of the things that I've been hearing lately from the people that I associate with is how they're trying to change the perception of themselves when they feel like they've messed up, and stop berating themselves in the process. You know, like you've done something, you feel like you've done something wrong, and you start beating up on yourself for what you've done because you feel like you've done this before, or you've done this, you're doing it again. And that is, I think, what this whole paragraph, or this whole section talks about, where you're idolizing something that is not even there, some God that you're making up in your own head. Because God is not a punishing God. You know, so why would we want to punish ourselves for things that we've done that we believe is wrong? Oh, we've been told that you can't do that. You know, that's wrong. I don't even know if I'm making any sense with this, perhaps, but it's really not punishing ourselves. It's trying to deal with the stuff that we do that we believe is wrong. Just correct it, and and move on. And as for forgiveness, if you feel like you have wronged somebody, that's easy. Oh, I think it's frozen out there. Is it?
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm done.
No, that was a good point, Ernesto. I think and this is a great talking point because this is what we're experiencing within the dream, right? And again and again and again, we keep getting these directions of what to do and how to do it. And it's just a matter of when we decide to make that choice, right? And I think so also for me in particular, when I went through that really dark depression, I was looking out here for everything, right? For all the idols, right? Whether it was the my knight in charming shining armor, my next Prince Charming to come and save me or rescue me. The perfect job to give me the money to raise my children, all these fear. My heart was filled with fear because I had this belief in lack and that I wasn't going to have enough. And there wasn't, no one was coming to rescue me. And I had to do it myself. And I remember being so angry, like, this is BS, this illusion. Like, what the actual F? And why am I here? And what is the whole purpose of this dream? Like, I don't want this. And I remember as soon as I said those words out loud, and I was so angry at God for creating this, like, if Jesus got it right, why didn't he just heal all of us? Why are we still stuck here, right? So, so I got really angry because I knew enough about A Course in Miracles to realize this was an illusion. But at the same time, I didn't know how to get out of it. And I learned that once I went into that spiral of depression and got so angry at everything out there and stopped looking out there and just literally gave up, right? I'm like, I'm done with this. It was only then that I felt it in here. So I feel like that's how we create these idols out there, that as long as we perpetuate it and it still gives us something that we can hold on to, something, some part of the illusion that makes us feel better or feel safer or feel in control, we buy into it and we make that our God, right? We honor that instead of going in here and saying, okay, honor the God within me, the altar within me where my truth lies. And it goes back to how to be in the world, but not of the world, right? How to navigate being here, but not being of here. And that was when everything that was directed out there started being directed in here. But that was for me, that was my experience of it. And I think that's why the lessons are so important, because those are the experiences, right? That's how we experience the Course in Miracles. And little by little by little, that little willingness turns on. And we're like, okay, I want to remember who I am. And then Marianne Williamson always says, just know that when you ask for it, it will come.
Not in the way you think it's going to come.
Not in the way you think it's going to come.
Or want it to come.
Right.
Yeah, she does say that a lot.
When you ask to know the truth, it's going to come at you.
Yeah, you have to make sure you cover all your bases when you're asking.
But I don't want this, and I don't want this, and I don't want this.
Right.
Doesn't work that way.
I've done it like that though. I want to know, but I don't want anybody to be hurt around me. I don't want to feel sadness. I don't want to. I just want to know the truth without experiencing any of that.
Doesn't work.
Yep. Yeah. And then you said, did I cover everything? Have I covered everything?
Oh, I left this out. Wait.
I need do nothing.
I need do nothing. Yeah, that's been my biggest advice from the voice of God. You need do nothing. And you're like, oh, okay. That makes it so much easier.
But there's so much to do.
Let go, let God, right? Ask the Holy Spirit. This holy instant I give to you, be you in charge. For I shall follow you, certain that your direction will bring me peace. Say that 60,000 times a day.
Hmm. Yeah.
I know we have another section that we could read, but there's only 10 minutes left. I'm afraid that's going to take us to the end of me reading and not much time for talking.
Yeah, asking about what to get. I was doing a workshop. I think it was like her last name was Van Zant, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, she was saying how she was asking, to have a good relationship. She was looking, she was looking for a partner. And she said she asked and all these things. And then she said, but I didn't realize, or I didn't say that I didn't want him to be married. Right. That was so funny. I mean, she had everybody laughing. She was so funny with everything that she was, saying, because these things are true. I mean, look, yes. And I think you don't have to say anything. I think you just have to be pure in your heart when you're asking. That's it. You just say, hey, I'm pure with this. Let's just, let's
Ernest,
bring.
so is that Iyanla Van Zant?
Yes, yes.
She's very good. She has a lot of interesting insights. And if you hear her life story and the stuff that she's overcome to get to the headspace she's in, she's quite an amazing lady.
Yes, that was her. Yes.
Yeah.
No relationship, right?
To
To the
who?
other Van Zants that we
Oh,
know.
like Ronnie, Johnny, and Donnie, the rock musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Different
relation,
Van
right?
Zant. This she happens to be a black woman. So
Oh,
yeah, it is different.
probably.
Probably a different family.
Anybody want to share anything that's coming up from today's readings?
A few days ago, I posted something about that. Well, John Cleese did a thing where it says, "Stupid doesn't know they're stupid," because you have to be smart enough to know you're stupid to realize that you're stupid. Uh, and I'm like, God, I feel that way about the Course of Miracles. Every time I read it, it's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. But I didn't know that before. But you've read it before, but you didn't know it. And it's just
Yes.
Uh,
I
It
feel like
reminds
every
me of
time
oh, go ahead.
go ahead, Alicia.
I was going to say, it reminds me of there's a meme about that where, when you die, you don't know you're dead. So it's only the people around you that suffer. And the same as when you're stupid. You don't know you're stupid and everybody else suffers. And that's kind of along the theme of what Carl
so
said.
true.
Oh my gosh.
Present president included.
Well, we're not forgetting to laugh today for sure.
That's right.
Pretty snowy view, Kathleen, out of the back window there.
It might look snowy, but it's not.
Oh, it looks completely snow covered
Yeah.
on our screen.
Interesting.
Huh.
No, that's just the light coming in. It
Interesting.
it was up near 60, around
Oh.
60 over the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
I
cool.
could
It's
show
been
you
cool today, but
I could show you lots of snow, but I would have to uncover my windows.
you guys still have snow in Binghamton?
Bits and pieces down in the valley, but I'm sure the mountains are still got more.
I've got a lot here. If my camera was working, I'd turn my computer around and show you. But as I look out my front window, my yard is still completely covered, as is the field next door. The
Oh,
roads
wow.
are dry, but there's still a lot. We got a lot in a base for sure. And even though, as she said, it was 60 over the weekend, there was a lot to melt off. So there's still a lot left.
Yeah, you guys got
It's going
more.
to be 60 again this coming weekend. I think 62 on Saturday.
I heard that. Unfortunately, the rain, lots of rain.
Yeah, all week. We're going up to 70.
Wow. Where are you at?
Pennsylvania. It's really it's
Okay.
northeast Pennsylvania. But it's 2 hours south of Binghamton.
I was going to say, if it's south of the Lehigh Tunnel, it's an entirely different, it's a different world down there.
Yeah,
I think.
we're not south of, no, we're just past Wilkes-Barre,
Oh, okay.
and then you head in.
You're right though, Alicia. I remember going through the tunnel and it was like a whole new world.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True
And then all of
story.
a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, they've got spring here. We're still in winter.
Yes. True story.
Yeah.
And everything, and it was green. Yeah.
We'll be doing that drive in a couple of weeks. We're going down to get the bus in North Carolina and then down to Florida.
Nice.
Yeah. Looking
Nice.
forward
Let me
to
know
it.
if you're going to be this way, Kathleen.
I will. I was just thinking, I got to look at the map and see. Yeah, I'll definitely. I'll let you know.
Pam's out in Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bye. All right, everyone. This has been a wonderful Course in Miracles gathering once again. Thank you all for participating. Wonderful conversation. I think it helps everybody when we talk about this because here we all are still in the dream.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. It's been great.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you
Thanks.
next week.
Thanks, Terry.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.